This is a terrible way to open a banana. But it's exactly what you're doing when you're using ChatGPT for a job that Gemini was built for. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and Gemini are not the same. Think of it this way. One is a creative artist, one is a long-form writer. Today, we stop using the wrong tool and we find the right tool for the right type of job. Let's go. Okay, the test is simple. I've created 3 core jobs that every single business owner has to do. A creative job, a strategy job, an admin job. And to find the winner of all the GPTs out there, we are giving each AI the same manager level brief using my CEO framework. If you've seen the video on my CEO framework, I'll link it up here, you know this is the prompting secret. It's how we stop getting generic junk and start getting real business results. Alright, so 4 AIs, 3 business jobs, 1 CEO framework. Let's get to work. First, the creative job. Let's say you run a local bakery. I'm going to use this example called Twisted Treats over here in London. You want to plan your upcoming Christmas campaign and you want to use AI, but you don't want that robotic garbage. You want it to sound warm and local. So I'm going to use my CEO framework. I've taken the prompt that I'm a local bakery and I've given it a clear framework, which is the CEO framework. I want my 4 AIs to output an Instagram post and a blog post promoting my Christmas sale. All right, let's hit it. So now we see ChatGPT is thinking. We see Gemini is still working. We see Claude has already finished and Perplexity is writing it too. Let's look at Perplexity. This is a little cheesy. Taste local, laugh lots, and let the good times and soda roll. Fail. Okay, let's look at the blog of Perplexity. I'm just skimming this through very fast, but it's clear to me that Perplexity is not meant for writing things like this. It feels very analytical. There's no soul in its writing. So Perplexity gets an F for writing. Let's get into Claude. I'm really excited about Claude. It's supposed to be one of the best models for writing. Our crusty, tangy beauties are back with a festive twist. I like that. Your taste buds will thank you. It's not great, but it's good. You know that gorgeous golden crusted loaf with the perfect tangy bite and those beautiful air pockets. That's pretty good. Let's be honest, Saturday mornings are sacred. Yeah, that's pretty good. Christmas vibes, all the good stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. Claude gets a solid B+ for me because it really gets the emotions of my brand voice over here right. Now let's look at Google's Gemini. Gemini is pretty good. Look at this. Packed with cranberries, orange zest, and toasted pecans. It's handmade with love and holiday mischief. It's pretty good. Look at the blog post. I mean, Gemini has a lot of character. It's really got my brand voice right. Look at this. You've seen her in the shop, probably covered in flour, definitely laughing. That's pretty good. Gemini gets a solid B+ for me because it's gotten the brand voice right, it's gotten the length right, it's gotten the flavor of my writing right. Well done, Gemini. Let's look at ChatGPT. Okay, I'm looking at the Instagram. It's not fantastic. It's pretty good, but doesn't really hit the head on the nail. It's pretty good. If you look at the blog post, it says, meet a limited edition Christmas sourdough Saturday loaf, slow fermented. It's pretty matter of fact. It doesn't really get my brand voice completely right. So I'd probably give it a B-. So from this experiment, it's clear to me that Claude and Gemini are clear winners for creative writing. Now, bear in mind, creative writing is a subjective judgment, so I leave it to you, but the way you prompt it is pretty critical. You would not go wrong if you pick Claude or Gemini for your creative writing tasks. Next, the strategy job. Let's say you're a small business owner and you really want to start investing in AI, but it requires some sizable investment to get your tech in order. So you want to use AI to understand if this is the right choice for you and it is the right time for you to make this choice, and how, if you want to make this choice, should you do it to get the best ROI? This is a pretty big strategic question. So I'm going to use my CEO framework and I've given all the 4 AI tools I'm comparing in this video the same prompt. In my prompt, I've given it the context. What do I want the AI to do for me? I've given it my expectation on what are the questions I wanted to answer. And I've given it my objective, which is I want to grow with AI without breaking my bank. I've given all the 4 AIs the same prompt. Okay, for me, Claude is out. It's a writer, not a researcher. What I like about Gemini's answer over here is that it gives me a data from my industry, which is self-storage in this case. It gives me pretty accurate step-by-step thinking on how to look at ROI. It makes it clear that I should not try to do it all at once. It does answer me how to involve my team. And this is important, right? It frames it as a teammate, not a replacement, which is pretty important. It does give me the risks of poor data quality. It does give me all the clickable sources. So Gemini gets a solid B over here. All right, let's look at ChatGPT. I'm using the 5.1 thinking model over here, and I clearly thought for 2 minutes, 8 seconds. ChatGPT gives me an interesting statistic on ROI, which is pretty good for small, medium-sized companies. I like the way ChatGPT structures its answers compared to Gemini because it's much easier to read than blocks of text that Gemini gave us. I really like the fact that it says model on a 3-year horizon, which is the right attitude if you ask me. It's very easy to just think about 100K as your investment, but there's obviously recurring costs to take care of things. I really like the fact that GPT gets me to really think better on what my strategic choice should be. So GPT gets a solid A actually. Okay, and now the final tool, Perplexity. I love the fact that Perplexity makes me think in phases, which is the right way to think about the project. I really think Perplexity Perplexity has nailed it in terms of actually giving me important data. So for instance, self-storage maintains 40 to 41% profit margins, which is true, amongst the highest in real estate. This means that there's a cushion for you to do this investment and be a leader, which is a great way to frame it. If my attitude as a business owner is to be in the forefront of this technology, I can definitely use parts of my margins to do this. Perplexity hits the nail on the head when it comes to the incoming calls and missed calls opportunity, because most self-storage companies cannot handle both incoming calls and incoming visitors. The team is very small. So this is so true. I love the fact that it's given me a decision framework saying if you want to get the best out of your investment, invest only if these things are true and when I should delay and reduce scope. Perplexity gets an A+. It really nails the analysis. If I use Perplexity on the strategic choice, I'm pretty sure I'm going to come out of it way stronger than I came into it. So clearly, guys, Perplexity is a clear winner in this strategy job. Finally, the admin job. Let's say you're a business owner and you need to sign an NDA that feels a little complicated for you, and you don't want to be spending some lawyer fees and spend 30 minutes of your time trying to figure this out. Which AI is going to be your reliable paralegal? So let's find out. I've given ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity exactly the same prompt. I've given it the same PDF. All right, the answers are here. Let's see what the results are. So let's start with ChatGPT. Oh man, that's a long wall of text. But what I like is the overall assessment at the end. This summary is something I really like, but there's lots going on over here. I'd rather have it as one little block with clear details. So ChatGPT gets a solid B for me. Let's look at Gemini. For some reason, Gemini gives you the output in Swedish here. It has the right to do it because the PDF is in Swedish, but the prompt is in English, which is pretty weird. Oh man, there's so much going on with Gemini as well. I'd give it a C because it's very hard to read this text for me, and it does it in Swedish, which is pretty poor. Okay, let's look at Claude now. I really like how Claude has structured its output. Actually, this is the best of ChatGPT and Gemini so far. I love it. It gives me the notable clauses at the end and gives me what to watch out for. Claude gets a solid A over here from me. Let's look at Perplexity. Perplexity gets an F because I gave it a clear prompt not to output the name of the companies, but it still did. So I'm going to blur this. Apart from that, there's a lot going on over here as well. I like the fact that it's color coding its output, makes it easier on the eye, and there's a bottom line. So Perplexity gets an F because it outputted the name of the company, although I didn't ask it to. Okay, so let's land this plane. Which tool should you actually pay for? It's not one tool, it's a toolbox, right? Stop looking for one AI to rule them all. Start building your AI team based on the job you need to do. So here is my 2026 budget advice. If you have no money, use the free version, but use all 4 tools. You've got an idea of which tool is good for what. If you just do that, you're going to be 90% ahead of your competition. Because let's face it, most of your competition is just using ChatGPT with bad prompting. If you have $20 and you want to use one tool properly and use the other free tools, I'd invest in ChatGPT because that's the best all-rounder. If you add $20 more to your budget, you can get the Pro Workflow plan, combining 2 fantastic AI tools depending on where you use it most. So for instance, if you're going to use a lot of research and writing, my $40 is Perplexity and Claude. If you want a strong base all-rounder, I'd take ChatGPT. And if you're going to use a lot in the Google world, I'd pay $20 for Gemini. That extra $20 to Gemini can summarize meetings, can summarize emails, can take care of your Google Drive. There's a lot of other admin benefits you get with that $20 with Gemini. That's your Pro Workflow tool, Perplexity and Claude, or ChatGPT and Gemini. By the way, that Claude Workflow, which summarized that 15-page NDA, that's the exact kind of same skill you need to create sales texts that are stunning and persuasive. If you're still using PowerPoint or Keynote, please stop. I'll link my video on how to build stunning sales texts with AI right here. So that's it, guys. You know which tool to use, and because you're using the CEO framework to prompt them, you know how to manage them. But notice we were still copying and pasting and doing a lot of manual intervention throughout the video. We were still the ones taking the research from Perplexity and doing the next steps. What if you could build a simple, non-techie system that could take the research from Perplexity and feed it into Claude to write your sales emails? That's not a prompt, that's an AI employee. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you in my next video on how to build simple AI employees for non-techie business owners. How amazing is our future? So until I see you in the next video, take care.